Howdy, howdy, y'all. Welcome to episode 14 of the Kilima Post, a Palia podcast, with your host, K Fiercine.
And Shinori Yoru, and today we're going to be talking about our wish list for Palia, on what we think what should be changed, what we think it should be added, and also possibly the new update as well that is coming up in the next few days.
So, how have you been lately, Shinori?
I've been pretty good. How are you? I've been doing mainly just doing Duskwings lately because of this patch introducing it to them, so I've just been doing a lot of grinding on that. But hopefully you're doing well with this update and been enjoying it as much as I am.
Yeah, I can't complain. I've been a little bit out of power because there was a hurricane up the East Coast, and not that it affected me, but enough cloud coverage, which meant I didn't get sun for a couple of days, so I wasn't able to play Palia or anything. So I was just, working on my IRL crafting and doing some crocheting and
Oh,
gonna
that's
learn how
cool.
to make. Yeah, I'm gonna teach myself how to make me a little pal cat plushie because I think that would be super cute.
Ooh, that might take a couple times to actually do that, but I'm pretty sure you can get that into motion
Right.
once you get that done. I would love to see it.
Right. And but any rate, so that's why we didn't have an episode last week because I didn't have power because that's just kind of the way living off grid goes. But
Oh, it's all
it's all
good. It's all
good
good.
because we're back and we're back with the new trailer. Now,
Let's
obviously,
go.
by
Let's
the
go.
time everybody hears this, they'll already have the patch out. So we're not going to be going through and doing too many like guessing about things, but I do want to touch on a couple of things that I am really excited for that they released in this trailer and that I can't wait to discuss in a more detail next week, you
Right,
know?
right, right,
But they gave us a seasonal animal or a seasonal bug with the pumpkin rock hopper.
right.
And that's kind of exciting. And just the idea of having like a seasonal animal, like it's only going to, like, you're only going to be, I assume, only going to be able to catch it for this month. So after
Hmm.
this month, it'll probably be gone till maybe next year.
I'm not entirely sure that's true though, because what I've been hearing a bit, if we're gonna be getting the pumpkin lore either from crafting or either from just from quest rewards. So I'm not entirely sure which one's which. If it's like, oh, you only get this, and then will it work after the month is over, or is it, or you could do it like maybe after the patch is still like still in place, and but then you can only do it like Kilima, Bahari, Elderwood. I have no idea. So hopefully, I'm not
Right.
sure. I'm not sure, right?
Well, I
So
mean, I'm sure everybody listening already know what'll be happening to it, but still, I'm still super excited about it. It was definitely a surprise I was not expecting.
yeah, I was definitely not expecting this one because if you notice for the last 2 years, they have basically just have the Halloween story and that was it. There was nothing like totally like Halloween themed. For the patches, they just like added like some furniture and that was it. Nothing really like too exciting. But this one I'm really excited about because we've been asking for a cauldron for so long, and now they're giving us it. I mean, I'm just so excited to make a Halloween plot, just using that, and also a bit of other stuff that may be added to the new patch.
Right?
I'm so excited about the pumpkins as well because they always come and then many people are just like, I've never seen this before. Where can I get these? The first time when they had the Halloween store, it was usually um behind Joe's store or behind the Zeki's general store. But the last year they had it in front of Zeki's store on the left, so you could just buy it next to the entrance of Zeki's store. I'm not sure if they're planning to move it again or planning to just have it stay there again. So
Right.
we'll see. But those are the two locations so far that they've had the store. So hopefully they don't change it again, or we'll just have to go find it somewhere else.
Right. So I guess diving into today's subject, I know I myself kind of wanted to just kind of throw out like changes and ideas and things I want in the world of Palia.
Yep, yep.
And I know there's a bunch of things like you might want to be added into the world of Palia.
Of course, of course.
So, do you have anything in particular right off the bat you want to add? Like what's one thing like what would be one of the big things you would love for them to add into Palia?
I think the one thing I really want them to add in is um if for like okay, this is for MMO that I used to play, which is called Maple Story. If
Mhm.
you and another player like really needed to talk, you don't really do it through whisper like we do, because sometimes when you try to talk to someone over whisper, the chat kind of changes to like a different place where it's gonna go. Like it'll just be like, oh, talking to Kfirs, but then later it'll just switch to talking to like nearby or like server, which kind of sucks
Right.
that way, right? So to stop this from happening, you could literally invite them to a private chat, and you'll have the maximum to add in like maybe like another person or so, but it'll be mainly just be like you and like someone else, and then that would basically be it. And then you can read all this chat, and then you can save it. But once you leave the chat, the chat will be like deleted, and you'll be able to like recall this chat ever again. So I would love if they
Mhm.
could implement like something like private messaging for that. Um, where you can just like invite someone into this room and then like just talk and not worry about like, oh shoot, like I have to switch the chat again. It kind of gets annoying when that happens.
Well, I think a lot of that is probably just issues with the chat system
Right,
itself
right,
auto toggling itself.
right. And
But I wouldn't mind the ability. I mean, I don't think there is. I don't actually whisper that much because honestly, most of the time I just talk through Twitch when I play. But I don't think, is there a way to like filter it out to where it's just the whispers? Like, because I know you can like take out general chat and take out like unclick those buttons, like
yeah,
exit
yeah,
out of
yeah,
those
yeah.
chats.
But I think you still like are still like forced to actually use those chats. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
you can't necessarily like. Well, even though I canceled it, I can't see it, but you can still type it in for server
Right.
and nearby chat. So necessarily, I wish that was the case, but unfortunately, that's not.
Also, something that I want them to put in, which is some, I guess, maybe, I mean, obviously not on the same note, but throughout similar within the, I guess, the course of socialization in this game. But I would like for them to be, because, like, I know, like, for instance, server takeovers are a thing
They are.
and, and things happen.
Yep.
What I would like for there to be able to do is, like, when you're on a server, like, there should be I don't know how to implement it except for maybe on the home plot because I was only thinking about this when I was on my home plot and I had ran into this like
Which
three
one? A
weeks
private
ago.
server?
Maybe like I know that would be way too expensive,
It would be. It would
because
be.
they have to run all them servers.
Right.
But
Right.
like I know on the home plot, like for instance, if you're on a home plot server and you have let's say at least minimum 5 people on your server or
Okay.
5 people on your home plot per se.
Sure.
You could check like a party box that will basically say there is an active party on this server.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be
So
nice.
that
Right. Right.
because like I'll just using this for an example, like 3 weeks ago, I was going to be doing a charged flow tree party. So I was
Mm-hmm.
going to boost up all these trees to give everybody
Right.
bonus
Right.
experience. And I spent a good 2.5 hours charging these trees. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
just for me having issues getting people onto the server when it's coming time for party.
Right.
And now, mind you, I've been on this server for about 2.5 hours. Me, and there's been a few of us because there was a couple other people there helping me charge. And somebody else was on the server basically saying that they were already in an hour long deep cooking party on that server.
Oof. Right,
And
right.
so it was either I gotta be I ended up having to be the bigger person and being like, well, I guess there goes all of the
Hard
extra
work, right.
experience
Hard
that
work, yeah.
I just wasted the past 2.5 hours
Doing,
doing,
right.
and just hopped over to a different server just so I could have people over for my flowchart
Right,
party.
right, right.
And there was already like 6 of us there charging. And I'm like, if I could have been already like clicked that button in so that people would know that there is already a party going on that server, it
That
would
would
allow
be
that
very
issue.
helpful.
I
Would
think
be,
at
yeah.
least on the home plots, I think it's hard to coordinate something like that on like like a Bahari or a Kilima server.
I
You know,
mean,
because I
I,
mean, it's not like you're like,
mm,
oh, you have this many people on your plot.
right, right, right.
It's like if you had like now if we could have groups that was bigger than 4 people.
Right.
Maybe if you had like a group of like 8 people, then yeah, you would be able to pop in a party button on that server that anybody else who joined afterwards, as long as you kept, enough people in your party, you could, keep that active to keep, so that nobody else is trying to do a big party on
Right,
that
right, right.
server.
I
But
mean,
that would also require us to have bigger groups.
I think one way I really see it as how this would work is that if you're nearby a bunch of people all together, then it would indicate that there might be a party going on. Like, if you open up
Right?
your friends list, or like there's a section where you'll see like a party, and then like you'll have this like K Fierce at the top, and then who's nearby K Fierce, and then be like, oh wait, this person has about 14 people, and this doesn't necessarily say like what type of party, but it'll just indicate, okay, there's something going on with this server. A bunch of people are nearby this person, so there might be something happening. So
Right.
you could either just be like, hey, what's going on? And like want to join in, but if they say no, you could be like, okay, I guess I'll just move to a different server, and I won't be able, and I'll be able to do my own thing there. I think that'll be nice. Like, I think that'll be a
Right.
great thing about that. That's one way
Because
to
I
use
just
it.
because I wasn't thinking to shout out in general chat every 30 minutes,
Right,
hey, I've got a party going on
right,
today. I can't swap servers because I'm charging these flow trees.
right, right.
Don't do a party on this server. Thankfully, I hosted a party yesterday and somebody had popped in the server and said, hey, I'm hosting a bean burger party if anybody's interested. And I'm already like 20
Nah,
people
nah,
deep
nah.
on a sashimi fish stew
Right,
party.
right.
And so I just gently said in general, I was like, I've already got a party going on this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
server. And he was like, oh, no problem. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
hopped over
yeah,
to a
yeah,
different server. That I've got no problem with,
yeah.
And thankfully that one was able to work itself out really early on before there was an issue.
Right,
But,
right, right, right.
um, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying, but like other times it was just, I just think that if there was like some way to like let other people know, so
Right.
that, in a nice general way, without, because there a lot of times people can get rude on some of these server takeovers.
They
Like
can be very rude. Yeah.
I have definitely read some chat logs people have posted, and
Right.
I do not support that. I always tell people on my streams, I'm like, just try to get over here when you can, try to get over here
Exactly right.
early. If things happen, it is what it is. If you miss out, I'm sorry. I will be doing more events for more people later on.
Right, right, right.
I'm always cooking, I'm always chopping, we're always doing something. We get
Frozen,
you in
yeah.
on the next one,
Exactly, exactly, right. And
You know,
it's frustrating as well, right? And we're just trying to host a party and all that. I wish there was just a better way for us to indicate that we are doing like a party here, and there might be something going on. But at the same time, I do agree that we do share the same server, and if they were to hear the same times as us, then yeah, it would be a bit like I feel a bit like awkward or kind of a bit rude just to ask them to leave. But if it's a party that we have to do and it needs to be filled up with just our with our group alone, it'll be a huge thing for us to get that in order, because it's just having like that one person when like not leaving kind of makes a huge difference when
I
we
was
were
I
trying to
was
get everything in.
I was gonna say, on, be it playing devil's advocate. Like, I'm
Right,
just saying, like, for like big groups, like if one or two people are on a server and they don't want to leave, I'm not
exactly.
worried about that.
Right.
If one or two people don't get to join my big party, it is what it is. I'm not
It
that
is what it is,
concerned.
right.
But it's when I've got a group of like 10 going and somebody else has got a group of 10 going and we both are trying to get to 18 or whatever,
Right.
that's where I'm like, okay, that's where it becomes an issue. Is I don't, it's harder to manage two bigger parties on a same server.
It is.
And that's the only thing I would like for, it's like, so if you have so many people, it lets you know, hey, there's a bigger event going on this server. So,
Right.
and of course it would prioritize who's kind of there first, type of thing.
Right. And
But as I said, I don't know, it was just an issue I kind of ran into, and I've just been trying to think of creative solutions so it doesn't make anybody feel like they're the bad guy, because I never want to make
right.
anybody feel like a bad guy.
Right.
We're just here to play a cozy game.
Of course, of
It's
course.
just, it's just due to server size limits, we can only do so much.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially a lot of us who are trying to host bigger events to help other people.
Exactly.
I just want a nicer way to streamline it all.
You're right. And I think another way they could actually do it, like with the nearby, but I think another way they could actually, like, if you could, like, how Discord does it, where you can just, like, create your own party and then, like, label it that way, I guess that would be another thing. I'm not sure,
Hmm.
like, how much data or how much hard work would it cause for Palia to add all that, just because, like, well, this we have to delete this every time we have to create, and then some people might forget to delete this party that they posted on there, so it could be like a bit of confusion on that. So I don't know, I feel like that would be a much harder thing, but I think my nearby thing would be much more efficient, just because, like, okay, you don't have to keep worrying about that because you can just see, like, online on the who's nearby, and for the list to be, like, growing between everyone else in, like, this little group that they're making.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't
But
know. It really depends.
anyway,
Right.
moving on to different ideas. Another little this one's a little change, but it's been on
Mm-hmm.
my wish list for so long. I would like a bulk buy button or like a slider button in Zeki's store.
Right.
I am tired of going to Zeki's and needing to buy 150 flour, and I'm spamming that A button 150 times. Like, let me, because
Right.
the cell has a nice slider bar. A slider bar would be a
Oh,
great way. Let me just hold over and let it go all the way up to like 99 or something.
right.
Let me have a creative way to bulk buy from Zeki.
Right. And it's not easy either. Just clicking that all the time. But it's not just Zeki's store. I would appreciate for Seafood's blacksmith store as well. That we
Yes.
we buy a lot of, like, iron bars or copper bars or, like, glass panes and all that. I would love if they could add in that the bulk buy for not just, like, Zeki's store, but for other stores as well. Even with the, like, the Winterlight store, if we're planning to buy, like, a lot of presents or snow, or the Halloween store, if we can get, like, the pumpkins, a lot of pumpkins, a lot of candles, etc.
Yeah, give us a slider
Yeah.
for all stores.
Yeah. So I
Give
think
us a bulk buy option at every store.
that'd be really great, because we just need something to be like, nah, I don't want to be standing here for an hour just buying stuff. Well, this is happening.
Agreed.
I think for that, it's a huge trouble for, mainly, I would say, not for PC players but Switch players, because Switch Game Freeze is a Switch player for that, and I do understand his pain for that because it sucks. It does suck, but just buying the same thing over and over and over again. Um,
Right.
but I haven't played on console, so I'm not sure how the console players are feeling about this. We're just like, how come there's no bulk buy? And I'm like, well, there's never been a bulk buy. I can't really say, I can't really tell you a good explanation why they haven't added it in. So I'm just curious as to why. So I would love one though. Don't get me wrong.
I think that would just be a little quality of life that would make such a huge difference.
Oh, 100%. And another thing that I want really wanting to change is I'm not sure if it's like difficult on your part for hunting or like bug catching. If you were to do like a cancel animation, like try to like reload your like bow or like your bug bomb like really fast. So what happened was recently is that we used to press shift to cancel this animation. So we can just like go on and just keep shooting forward like really fast. But I'm not sure if they did it on purpose or did it by accident. But they literally just removed us to not be able to like press the shift button to cancel the fast animation to like zoom in, zoom out type of thing. And just like ready and lock and load for another like ammo to be like shooting. So instead of just like shift now, they literally just said, "Nah, you gotta have an actual mouse and then right click to cancel this animation now." And I'm like, "What's wrong with the shift that we had before? What?" And now it's getting a bit difficult. If you don't have something to do that like we usually do, other than like a mouse, but that's the only way. But I'm not sure if you have experienced something like that when it comes to Switch. About that, about I'm not sure if you have that or not.
I've never actually had a way to do animation canceling on the Switch,
Right.
so
Ooh.
I've never dealt with the loss of animation canceling,
Oh,
basically.
really? Okay. Okay.
But I mean, I can always just sit there and just, I don't mind just, for like when you're catching a bug, I try to slow down how many bombs I'm throwing so I'm not wasting bombs.
Right. Right. Right.
So I'm like, I don't need an animation cancel for that myself. And I have a decent enough way when solo hunting to swap ammo real quick.
Right.
So I don't even have, I guess, have an issue with the fact that I would even need it. So shrug. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to shoot fast, I would recommend it, but I'm not sure if they're trying to like make it even it out with the Switch or the console, but like it's I wish it was still a thing, but that's
Right.
my thing. And like going hunting made it more pleasurable just because of that. But I guess they want to make it the same. Where yeah, if you're playing PC, you're not getting a whole advantage with the Switch and the console just because of that. You get to shoot fast, and they don't. It's like nah, you're not able to do that anymore. Sorry.
Aw. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your loss of animation canceling, and maybe they'll bring it back for you. I mean, I heard they brought back a few things because people's requested them. So you
Right,
never know.
right.
They might not like say they're gonna bring it back, but it'll be something they might slightly put into a patch.
I mean,
But
I try every patch just to see if it works or not. But so far,
exactly.
not it hasn't. Unfortunately, there's nothing I
And
can do.
and something else that I want added in, I know it's gonna sound kind of strange, but now that there is such thing as a legendary fish, I want a legendary fish to be able to be caught in ponds slash your home plot.
I mean, that'd
And
be
more
nice.
and more specifically, I want it to be a trout because
You
to
want
be
trout
able
dinner?
I want legendary trout dinners just for fun. I know, and they'll probably, because everybody got to make their food buffs. And
do.
legitimately, like farming trout, like I need a better way to farm trout. Like, cause like I can, yeah, you can catch trout in Kilima rivers without bait. It's fine,
Right,
but you don't really get any plushies out of it. You're and without bait means you're not getting any epic fish along with it. So you're
of course.
literally just doing it to catch trout. You can
Well,
catch it in the lake during daytime with worms and have a chance to get the prism plushie,
right,
but that's like the only real benefit to fishing there. And then you can do it in the Bahari rivers with worms and still no real benefit there either. Like it's
right.
just you have to go out of your way just to fish for trout.
But
And as somebody who is a min-maxer with my fishing, I guess, I would just like to be able to catch some trout with some more benefit. And I think it would be fun to have a legendary fish on to be able to catch on the home plot.
right. But even with trout dinner, are you planning to eat it still? Even with like the legendary fish to be a thing to be on the
Well, the way I see it is, it's like I mean, you're one who does you use legendary fish on fish stew.
right,
And you do it for some people to sell if they want to sell and for other
right,
people to use if they're going to use it. You're not forced to sell it,
right,
if you're going there just to get the fishing buffs. So,
right.
and it was like kind of like this weekend. This weekend we had an epic, we used epic fish and we made 50 sashimi and 50
Sure.
fish stew. And some people kept it because they fish a lot, and those who don't fish a lot, they sold it and made some good money, you
Right.
know?
Okay.
And I think it's a good way to benefit both parties. It gives multiple reasons for you to come to a party. You can either come for the food buffs or you can come for the money and you can come for the experience.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's it's nice in theory to actually like to do it for like the fish players that constantly fish like every day like we do, but also the fact that we might like use it, which might be like detrimental to like the how the pricing is if you need the money. But I just find it easier just to like go out and just like catch like the uncommon or common like trouts rather than like getting a legendary for that. Because I don't know, like if I'm eating it, then I'm not gonna use like a whole uh a legendary trout just to get like the buff. I'll just be like, okay, I'm just gonna be using like a common or uncommon trout for this rather than doing that.
Right. I mean, for me, for instance, I'm like, oh, making money in this game's so easy. I'm always capped out on money. So, I mean, I've got so many poke bowls, just legendary poke bowls, just sitting on on a storage plot, waiting for when I need the money to buy it. Now,
Right,
I will
right.
be spending quite a bit of money on this next patch with the spooky shop, but
Let's
but
go.
I'm not gonna dip into my savings though. That'll be for
Right.
like emergency. Frog Lord is leaving. I gotta buy so many of these frog statues before he vanishes. Type of emergency fund.
No, 100%.
But but I feel like making money in this game is so easy to do anyways that I wouldn't be that upset eating a fishing buff that was made with legendary fish. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying
fair.
if I had that many on hand extra anyways, what does it matter? I can make good money the next week, with more legendary fish and a poke bowl party or a fish stew
Sure.
party, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, yeah, I get
So,
you. I get you.
and plus, there are just so many, and especially with some of these bug lures people are doing, you come out making good money on these bug lures, you
Yeah, you
know?
could. Yeah, you could. Yeah.
you know? And so I just feel like there are just so many ways to make money that I'm just like, I'm cool with it. I just, in general, just kind of just wanted, it was more so I just wanted to catch a legendary fish on my home plot.
Right, 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 right.
I like the idea of being able to fish on my home plot, and I like the idea of
I
hosting a
mean,
fishing party on my home plot and having
right.
friends come over and fish with me because due to the fact that I do a lot of fishing on my stream, I
Mm,
have collected quite a few fishermen people who like to hang out and fish with
Of
me,
course, of course.
and I like having a good little fishing community where we all go and fish together.
Right.
And I like the idea of sometimes fishing on the home plot if I want to. So much of my fishing parties have been spent in the older woods lately because that's where you catch the legendary fish and you get plushies
Right.
and you get epic fish all on the same worm. So it's
Right.
great
Right.
beneficial just to fish there in general. It's the best spot to fish. If you're just going to fish for hours, just go to the older woods and fish in the ocean or the saltwater.
And like I get that a lot because you just want to change your scenery as well sometimes.
Exactly.
Like not fishing always in the same spot. You just want to go to other places. I definitely understand that because I'm usually tired of looking at the same spot over and over
So
again.
as I said, I wouldn't mind fishing in my home plot for a legendary fish once in a while. Or had the
Yeah, yeah,
Maji Market specifically have its own like little
yeah.
legendary fish. I would fish out there all day, every day, when the Maji Market's in session.
And I think one thing about like fishing in general, like we need something to be like always like to keep us distracted while we are fishing because it does get a bit boring sometimes, even for like me and Cape here. So we're just like literally just talking, we're just chatting and seeing what other people in our group do catch as well. So it'll be really nice if we can get like a bit of a change of scenery and not like constantly going back and forth to the same spot that we're always doing if we need to unload or need to go cook all the fish and then like using that to feed our worm farms with that. It'll be very it's a slight change, but I wish there was something more than just fishing at this one spot. They can only get this one fish that only appears only in the game 4. So it kind of sucks. Yeah, I understand that.
So that's just my 2 cents
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that, but that would be a
yeah,
change I
yeah.
would like in Palia.
And one thing I would wish they would add in is more mini games. So what I mean by this is that like yeah, we have our traditional things that we can get like EXP for. For example, like the flower bloom event, you can get like foraging EXP for that just for like oh you do this at this time or if you want to do this at another time you could just play like a mini game and also get EXP that way, just to like have fun and make it more different. So like if any mini game that is introduced into the game, it'd be representing for that skill you can get in the future. So like for cooking wise, I was thinking like, oh, what if we do like an overcooked mini game type of thing, and you're just like literally just doing the cutting animations, you're either just like serving to the guests that comes into the shop, and like, oh, you can or you can like wash the dishes, type of thing, and it'll be just like pure chaos. And you don't have to necessarily have to do this with other people. You can, but like, I wish there was a way you could do like a single player or multiplayer, depending on how you want it, and then like just do this, and then you're having your own like little mini game, and just either leveling up your cooking skills or doing other things that you may be doing. So with bug catching, you could probably do like I don't know, like I was thinking like whack a schmole mini game where you have like a bunch of these moles, so you don't have to go walk everywhere, and they'll just like pop up really quickly, and you're just like shooting them or just like whacking them with your pickaxe, and then like it'll go like you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I know we kind of talked about
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Whack-a-Schmoll last episode with the
Right.
Maji Market. So, but no, definitely. Like, I mean, like, and not even necessarily like ones that like upskill, because I know, for instance, both I count both the tower and the arcade
The
machine.
Rage
I
Against the
forgot its
Machine.
name, but
Yeah.
yeah, Rage Against the Machine. Both of those are great little quote unquote mini games to me. Like, I spent so much time on Rage Against the Machine. I spent so much time in the tower. Everybody spent so much time in the tower. We're still waiting for a tower version too.
I wonder what skill that would go towards if you did complete the tower and like, oh, you get a little skill like leveling up after the complete tower.
Well, I mean, nothing. I don't think everything necessarily has to give a skill per
Sure.
se. Not everything I feel like would have to level up a skill, but I would like some sort of like benefit. Like, I would like, for instance, if you complete the tower, like, I know once you complete under so many times, you'll get like extra Zeki coins. I wish they gave us like a fun little
Okay, okay,
trophy,
okay, yeah, yeah.
like a bronze trophy for completing it, a silver trophy for completing the tower in what, 20 minutes is the achievement, and then a gold trophy if we complete it in like
Sure,
15
sure.
minutes.
That'd be great. And yeah,
Based on the achievements they already have in the game, just kind of replace them
right,
with
right, right. And
trophies,
like these mini games are and like aren't affecting the game at all. Like these are games probably like people do like almost every hour within the game. Because I've still seen a lot of people do Hot Pot, and that is a mini game they've introduced for a long time now. And it's been a joy to actually like hang out with your friends and play this game. Um, but it always saddens me that you always have to wait if there's not enough people, or like you have to, or you're waiting for your friends, and like one random person joins in. It's kind of like that. But like I wish there was like more mini games where we could just like have fun and not worry about anything else. Like we could just keep playing Palia and like not like, okay, getting kind of bored. I'm just gonna move over to like a different game type of thing, right? If you know what I mean. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, they did, as and as you mentioned before, they did just recently introduce the new flower event, and a couple of months ago they did add the Pixie Bloom event, which are daily in-game events like the
Right,
like the
right.
Grove. So I do appreciate that, but yeah, I definitely would like more alt side quests to do for mini games in this game.
Yeah,
Definitely for sure. I feel like it definitely makes the world feel more
of course,
alive,
of course.
And that's one of the reasons why I like the underground. I like going down to the underground and seeing people play hot pod and seeing people go into the tower and seeing people spin the wheel, and using the trading booth. It definitely feels
Yeah,
alive
yeah, yeah.
down there.
And like it's meeting new people. Like I know some players are not like, well, I don't like meeting new people, and I just want to play by myself. Yeah, but like there are people in the game, and like when I don't think most people are going to be like very frightening. So I kind of want the introduction to be like, yeah, like you can probably meet some good people. Not everyone's going to be bad, right? You can be playing by yourself, but you never know when you meet that friend in the game that you never thought about meeting, but now you're here. You could probably just add each other and like get to know each other, right? So
Well, and that's the thing. Nobody's forcing you to do group-based events,
right,
Yeah, you get a benefit for doing things in groups, but you can do everything in this game by yourself. You don't need
exactly, exactly.
nobody. So, it's not like you're forcing anybody to
No, no,
play
no,
anything. If they don't want to play it, then
exactly,
they won't
exactly.
play it.
But like, do give others a chance. Not everyone's trying to make your day a worse day. Everyone's really friendly with Palia. I've encountered some people, but of course you can't um find all good apples in one basket. There's going to be like at least one or two, but you'll eventually find a really good amount of apples in that basket, just not being bad at all. So, but it's the luck of the draw. You're it's what the game is providing, and that's the risk you gotta take. Usually, I would say.
So, I've kind of been working on this idea in my head for a little bit, and I haven't actually like thrown it out in like a public idea, but I'm going to toss it out to you and tell me what you
Okay,
think
sure.
of this. But I love the fact that I can fish on my home plot. I love the fact that I can invite people over, we can chop trees, and they can help me take care of my garden, and soon hopefully they'll be able to help me take care of my ranch.
Yeah, right.
But one thing I feel like I would love is if you place certain flowers, you have a chance of attracting particular bugs to your plot
Ooh.
that then you can then catch on your home plot.
Hmm.
Because let me tell you, I would love the idea of being able to do bug lures at home. Like, let's say you create an environment to attract particular bugs over, and then instead of worrying about doing like a big like server takeover in Bahari,
Right.
you could essentially people could do their own big bug hunts at home as long as you had the particular flowers grown.
Oh, like I love the idea. Don't get me wrong. However, there has been some plots where it's been really, really buggy, and they still have the flowers on it. I'm not sure, like with all the lag going on with some people's plots. Like you can just have like a free plot, but even then, it's usually people like love to decorate, and for that, it will just be a bit more leggier. I would find. I'm not sure how they would mitigate this in order for that to happen, but like even then, like certain areas of the game where you'll find encounter different bugs. I'm just wondering, like, is there a particular bug at the home plot that would be special just because like, oh, we're just had to hear this home plot
Well,
and we're not sure what we're gonna get here, or maybe it's like a particular bug that we can get here, and yeah,
Well, it would be like, well, the way I was thinking about it in my head would be like, let's say you place blah, blah, blah flower, and blah, blah, blah flower has a chance of bringing in common butterflies or maybe even a rainbow tipped butterfly or grasshoppers.
right,
It'll have a chance to bring in one of three random bugs per se. And as and you could like put particular flowers around that would attract whatever type of bugs you would want to attract for your lure.
right,
And I feel like if people were to host home private bug lures, they would have them more tailor specific for what they're looking for, but not make it to be like, oh, you could summon unlimited rainbow tip butterflies just by covering with this
right,
one flower. You know, you would attract, common butterflies and like
of
grasshoppers as
course,
well, and mainly them to bring in, to make sure you're not
of course,
abusing
of
it,
course.
but allow people to be able to catch bugs in a little more controlled environment. Oh, because I was thinking of something like that. Because the only reason why I got thought of that was because I don't know how much of you played Stardew
I've
Valley,
seen gameplay with it. I haven't
but
actually played it myself though.
well, on your home farm, at least on the maps I've
Right.
played, there is like a particular quarry area that would regenerate rocks every couple of in-game
Okay.
days. And I always thought it would be really cool if we had like a little spot on our home plot that would like give us so many rocks a day, and they would be random, maybe copper, maybe iron, maybe pallium. You might have the rare gold spawn, and it would just be random ores that you'd be able just to farm on your home plot every like real life day
Okay.
or
Okay.
something,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that got me thinking of that. And I'm like, well, if I was going to mine on my home plot, I'd love to catch bugs on my home plot. And so that's just got me thinking about, having flowers bring in particular bugs, and you could place lures down to have more coordinated bug lures. I don't know. It's just an idea I've been loosely throwing around. I hadn't really formatted it. This is like my first time really publicing giving
Yeah.
out
Right.
this idea, but normally I think about an idea for like weeks before I just throw it out to the
Right.
general
Right.
public. But
But like I love the idea, but the problem I think the problem is that Palia wants you to actually go outside, like go out of your home plot and actually do stuff. Because if you really think about it right now, there's four skills right now that you can actually like do at home and not even leave your plot doing, which is cooking, husbandry, fishing, and then furniture making. So in those four, Wait, did I say 4? I'm pretty sure I said 4. But in those 4, literally you don't have to leave the plot ever, and it'll just be like, oh, it's a home plot. It's like a farming sim at this point because you never have to leave. You never actually have to do anything to leave the plot. You're just stuck here until like whenever you want to leave. But you don't. If you want to be like a homebody and not leave the plot, that'd be great too. But I think what Palia is wanting to more encourage is to actually meet with people when it comes to that. So I think they're really pushing on it. They're really wanting people to be like, yeah, you should visit each other's plots more and not be like going stay in your own little bubble here. Like I kind of get it for those that are like not wanting to meet with anyone, but at the same time, like you kind of want to actually meet someone new that may be a friend in the future. Like I love the idea of adding in like bug catching and like mining in there, but at the same time, it still needs to be balanced out on like I guess meeting people that way as well. But
Well, and I mean, I feel like, yeah, I know Palia wants people to go out and visit their world, and I definitely think most people will still go out there. I think the only people who would really take advantage of that is people who are wanting to do a bigger event party and want it to be a little more controlled, and B, introverts who really just don't want to go out there and
yep.
play with people, and that's kind of understandable. I moved into the woods IRL, so I don't have to deal with people. Point blank period. Like people are like, "Why'd you move up to the top of a mountain in the middle of the woods?" And I'm like, "Because I don't want to deal with people." And everybody's like, "Yeah, I understand." You know, and I mean, and I understand some people has had some really bad reactions to people in games because some people can be a bit
Right.
aggressive, putting it
Yep.
nicely. And so I know some people's had some bad interactions and just kind of just want to stick with
Yep.
playing by
Yep.
themselves. And if it gives them an opportunity, I mean, as I said, I don't know if they could program it, but it's just an idea I'd just kind of been throwing around in
Yeah.
my head.
I mean, like hunting can't. You try to do hunting on plot, but I'm not sure how they will program it. Like maybe every hour, like something like will appear, and then you gotta hunt it that way, or like
Oh, that'd be
yeah,
kind of cute, but and I know you gotta match it up with all like the plot skins or
sure.
whatnot,
That would be
depending. I know that
that would
might
be the
throw things
hugest
off.
biggest thing.
But in general, it was just kind of an idea I was having. I was like, I'd like the idea to play
Yeah.
sewers at home.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
I feel like everyone's just gonna be like, oh yeah, you don't ever have to leave the home. And for Palia, I'm like, what?
Right.
Which is kind of true, but but I do get the point if it does happen like that, right? So, I think one thing I really want to see in Palia is, if they could literally just have where we got more like more stuff that we can spending on game. I know with the husbandry we spent a lot of money on the new pets and all the new farm animals and all that. But the one thing I'm like really struggling is that still like if you've been a veteran for a very long time, I wish there would be like some type of thing where we could just like spend a lot of money on. Like I know Lucky Coins is one of them, and also and housing as well. But after some point, you're just like, you kind of don't want to do anything. You kind of just want like to get the new stuff. So I feel like maybe we could do like kind of maybe like a risky game, maybe where you could just like, oh, you have a certain percent chance to get this. I know with Lucky Coins it's kind of like that, but something more to be like more like engaging
Are you talking about
and
something a bit
like
more like a Gamba? Cause well, cause I
kind of
know a lot of games they have like a lot of like gambling laws in a bunch of countries.
right.
So I do know, like, I don't know how they would have. I mean, because I know, like, Pokemon games, they got like the slot machines. So I guess now that I
Right.
think about it, so I guess
But you're
as
not
long as
really
you're not
using
using real money, then it shouldn't be
real
an
money,
issue.
right.
I mean, I
Like
wouldn't mind a slot machine or something, but I don't know.
but like,
I'm not much of a
like
gambling
something
man
more kid
myself.
friendly, like so something a bit like more kid friendly, because like you don't want people to be like winning, like going to like to gamble, to a casino and start gambling, right? You don't want that, but like something like that's like fun, like, but you also have a chance to lose.
I mean, I wouldn't mind
I would
something like
say.
that when we visit Bahari City. Like they have like a little underground like gambling, like a little like slot machine casino thing in Bahari City. I wouldn't be against that.
I was thinking like, have you played Animal Crossing? Back at
Of course.
Okay, so there was one time where in Animal Crossing where you're able to play like certain games like that's not like linked to Nintendo, but like you can still play like Balloon Fight or like
Well, no, they were all original Nintendo
yeah, they were,
games.
yeah. But like you necessarily didn't have to like purchase them, right? You could just um just go up, have this item, and then you just place it on the ground, and then you just play the game, right? Like, it's like
Well, I mean, we had that with Rage Against the Machine
right, right, right,
already.
right. Like, but it's still like
We need
we need
more.
more. Yeah, we need more because like I guess it's a simple game and all that, but like it's still missing a lot. Like I want different arcade. Like I want to like get different games in
Yes.
there, right?
I would love to have different arcade machines in the game. Like I would love for them to have like going back to the mini game idea. I wouldn't mind for them doing like their version of, like a water sorter game, whatever, that you play on a little like, arcade machine. But I
Ooh,
don't know how I feel about people having all of these arcade machines on their home plot like you can with Rage Against the Machine. Like,
sure,
don't get me wrong, I'd love my own home arcade.
right.
But at the same time, I feel like there would be nothing cooler than going to going to like an in Palia arcade where everybody else is at the arcade playing different games, you
Right, right,
know?
right.
Like kind of like where the underground where they have all the Rage Against machines, but let's
Yeah,
say you could only play the Rage Against the machines there
right,
rather than because I beat mine on my home plot.
right, right.
But what if you could beat one on a public one,
Right,
you
right,
know?
right.
I think that would be
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be cool. But they could be like you know those YouTube ads and when it shows like the game, the player failing. I feel like they should just place like those games, try to mimic it, maybe like put their own spin into it, and then like, oh hey, here's the game that you wanted to play, that you saw on like YouTube and all that, and just be like, yeah, let's play the game here, and that'd be like, oh okay, it's a very simple game. Like, don't get me wrong, but like it sucks where like I've been seeing this a lot of YouTube ads about this, but like you gotta just want to play it, right? I do know there's like a Steam game, like a Steam package for this, but I feel like Pele could
Hmm.
just take advantage of this as well. This is not really like something to be like, oh, this is mine, this is patented and all that. Because I'm pretty sure there's been multiple games are like that where it's just like it's not even the same game, and they're just using it to get you crowded in. But like I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of fun for like not for a serious game to be like, okay, you want to play this game for a bit and just like have fun with that as well.
Right.
So I don't know. That's just me though. But yeah,
No, absolutely, absolutely. As I said, I wouldn't mind more arcade games in the game itself. As I said, I had a lot of fun playing Rage Against the Machine itself.
yeah, yeah.
Now I'm just sitting here thinking about going down to like the Kilima arcade or maybe the Bahari City arcade, you know?
Oh,
I
I would
mean,
love that.
in all honesty, when we get to the point that we can go to Bahari City, that's going to open up so many fun ideas because it's a big bustling town or a big bustling
Yeah,
city.
yeah, yeah.
So if the game ever gets to the point that we'll able to be actually go to Bahari City, that's going to be like its own zone itself.
I
So
mean, I'm so waiting for the nightclub and underneath the city that they keep talking about because I'm really looking forward to see like, oh, what type of club are you guys talking about? Because they've been like teasing about
right,
it. I'm like. I kind of want to see this club now. I kind of want to see this in the club.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not on the VIP list. You can't get
No. I'm sad.
in.
It's all good.
But then something else I kind of been wanting. Now, I know this is a big thing. Okay. A lot of my suggestions have kind of been like mainly little things, but I would like Palia to have a 4-player, since party sizes are 4 players big, I want
Right.
us to have like a 4-player dungeon. I
In
would
what
like
way?
a multiplayer, like, well, I guess let me say more, not more like a dungeon, more of like a hunting experience, okay?
Right.
So let's say you're in Bahar. Okay, like let's say you're, southern Bahari, like in the middle of the circle of mountains
Sure.
where you can come in like the 3 different ways, that big circle area. Let's say you like, this would have to be something you'd have to like queue into or whatever with your group or whatever. It'd
Okay.
have to be in its like own special thing.
Okay.
But like, let's say you just appeared in this like little like enclosed area within the mountains, okay? And there is a Muujin that's much larger than a regular Muujin. Can hop invisible, and like when it gets close to you, knocks you back, and maybe like you can't move your character for a second. It might maybe like stuns you for a second. And you have X amount of time to hunt this larger Muujin.
Does it sound like a boss fight type of thing?
Yes, it's essentially
Okay.
it is like a boss fight for Palia. And I know it's kind of like mixing the idea of like Monster Hunter.
Right.
I know it sounds kind of odd.
Yeah.
But and you would have, obviously, since we don't have health bars, there's no you're dying. So it'd be a strict, you have a time limit.
Mm-hmm.
This Muujin's going to run around this arena with you guys getting knocked back, and you're dodging them while trying to shoot them, using the different arrows, your slowdowns, your dispels, your
I wouldn't mind
irons.
that, to be honest. I honestly wouldn't mind
And it's a 4-player team-based fight. And you get so many rewards for completing it or whatever. And if you don't, then he kind of just runs away, and, it kind of ends if you run out of timer, and you lose.
Yeah.
But it's fine. You're not supposed to win every hunt anyways, right?
Right.
And, and maybe it'll drop some rare crafting material, maybe some rare meat that's worth a lot more. Maybe it'll drop legendary meat. Because I'll say this, like, well, because I mean, I'm literally sitting here thinking about it,
right?
And it's like for fishing, like we have different options for different levels of fish that will up the value of these recipes.
Yeah.
Why can't I bring in legendary Muujin meat to then up the amount that a Muujin Bahari might be worth?
Yeah,
you know.
And it kind of frustrates me, like that only fish get this legendary that we can use for cooking. But I'm like, what about all the love for the other cooked like foods that would allow like do legendary stuff as well? Like, why is it just these fish dishes that is only allowed?
Right.
These ones? Yeah, no, I understand.
Well,
that,
even going back to like before we had legendaries and we had just epics.
Right.
I remember one of my viewers, they farmed up, I think it was like 50 vampire crabs. They're an epic crab.
Right.
To put in a crab recipe.
Right.
And to be honest, it really wasn't worth the money.
It was not, no.
Not for the time investment that they put in trying to catch an epic bug to then use in a recipe.
Right.
And I would honestly, kind of like jumping ships. I just would like more recipes to be more valid.
Exactly. Yeah. Like,
and so I was thinking of a way to like give legendary meat. And I'm like, that would be a great way to do legendary like choppa meat or Muujin meat, whatever, to bring to a party,
I want a legendary crab. Why not? And then like you use that crab to like actually cook stuff. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't know. It's just an
No,
idea.
it's a good
But
idea.
and plus,
I'm
like,
not
I
against
always
that.
thought it would be cool to have like all. But I mean, I wouldn't mind like an actual like temple dungeon that's multiplayer.
Ooh,
Like, like for instance, going through the Earth Temple. Wouldn't it have been much cooler if there was like puzzles where you had to like have like maybe somebody like shooting while somebody else is dodging lasers,
this is this,
instead of you doing both,
this is giving me like huge Banjo Kazooie vibes, and I'm all
I
for it. I'm all
mean,
for it though. Don't get me wrong, but like, dang.
I'm down. I'm down for the idea of having a multiplayer optional dungeon
Yeah,
for
yeah,
moving forward.
yeah. Of course,
I
of
think
course.
that would be fun. I would love to go through the Temple of Roots with some of my good Judies.
Of course, of course. But I'm not sure like how much people are gonna be willing to do that just because like, damn, I need a friend. Well, shoot, I need to go make a friend. Type of thing.
I think of something like that, they could have a soloable version just to maybe get the storyline, but you might
Right.
not get as many rewards unless you do it as a group.
Uh,
You know,
right. And I'm thinking about this like
I mean, you're not
no, you're
gatekeeping
not.
any of the story
No.
or anything. You're just like limiting the rewards for one person, which would be understandable,
Understandable, right, right. And like I'm thinking about this like kind of like Guild Wars 2 and also like World of Warcraft, where like you could be in this room and then like you'd be asking like joining party and all that, and then once you have like a full party, you can actually go into this little dungeon. Or you could do like how World of Warcraft does it, where you would just basically just say you're this, and you just select just a queue in on what you wanted to do for the dungeon, and then do it that way. Like, I mean, they probably might do something different, but it'd be a good start. It'd be good like where to like see where this might spread out into.
What if there was like some sort of like taunt arrow that you could shoot out and it would cause the creature to run towards you for like 2 seconds or something, versus just
Ooh.
running away, like a mocking blow or something like that.
Right.
I'm just saying. I mean, I know Palia's. They don't want to put too much combat into Palia, so I'm
Right.
trying not to go
But
too out of the realm of the
right,
box. But there are still ideas that I've thought about in the game.
right, but it's something different,
That
right? It's something new, right?
exactly.
And like, I know they're trying a lot of new things that might work, but I think this one might actually work, to be honest. And like, I do know that there are a lot of like boss battle grinds, like let's say Cuphead, for example, where it's just like ridiculously
hmm
hard, but like you can make it more fun with a bunch of players, or like just something that would make it more interesting that way.
But I think that's a lot of ideas that I know we've just talked about on the fly today. So I mean, it's a lot of fun ideas. I wouldn't mind them adding into Palia and whatnot. So
Um, is there anything else you want to add in? Let's see. Oh,
no, as I said, I've covered a lot of my bigger
right,
changes I've wanted to them to
right.
add it into Palia. I've talked about most of my wish list. I mean, I could go on and talk about it all
I
day.
mean,
I got infinite amount of ideas. I'm like, you get me going, it's hard to shut this
I
train up.
mean, some
So,
people have been talking about a water
but
temple. I'm like, oh god, that might be horrible, but yeah, very cool at the same time. I'm like,
wait, that's the first temple, the Temple of Waves. It was our water
no, but like
temple.
actually, like in the water.
Oh, I know, like
Yeah,
Legend of Zelda water
yeah.
temples. Oh my god. Eventually, I mean, we still haven't gotten a temple in the Elder Woods yet, and we do know there is an area that's gonna be a
Right,
temple. We just can't get
right.
into yet. So,
That'd be nice, but we have no idea where the story's gonna go on from there, and we just know it exists, but we just don't know like what it's gonna be in there and what's gonna be used for. So
hmm
it'll be nice. It'll be nice. And I was really hoping for like a tool that we might be able to use during those temples as well, like like a bucket or like a shears where we got from Hudson Tree. Now that didn't happen. But it's okay though. Not too disappointed about it.
right. So, I guess then it's time for Shinori's question of the week.
So, guys, I would love to hear what what you want things to be added to the game. It could be something that's very, very small, but you feel like it would add a lot to the game that way, or what you want to do in the game that hasn't been in the game yet. What are your concerns, and would you want that fixed by S6 immediately? Would love to hear your thoughts and experience through Palia, and things you want things to be added in or to be like fixed. Just leave down a comment down below, and I would love to hear all about it.
And make sure to follow us here on Spotify if that's where you're listening to it. And
we deeply appreciate it.
Exactly. Share it with your friends, and make sure to check me out at twitch.tv/kfearscene and at youtube.com/@kfearscene.
And also twitch.tv/Yoru. And also follow us on Blue Sky as well. Same handle, Scene, and also Shinori Yoru. If you haven't already, please do so. Would love to have you there as well.
And until next week's episode, where we'll go over all the new patch notes and everything added into the patch, I guess we will see you guys later. Bye.